Hi, this is Scott, Kilo Sierra 6 Delta Alpha Yankee, and for today's video, I'm back once again talking about useful accessories for the Ailunce HA1UV and HA1 Golf radios. And for today's accessory, this is one that's kind of near and dear to my heart. I happen to know a lot about this accessory because I'm the guy that designed this accessory and the one that supervises its production. And that is, of course, the Specter Gear radio pouch for the Ailunce radios. So let me get this out of the way, and I'll show you the actual pouch itself. Now we have two different versions of this pouch. We have one that features a MOLLE connection for MOLLE carriers such as plate carriers, chest rigs, and bags and packs that feature MOLLE strip on them. There's a lot of them out there nowadays. It's actually a pretty common method that kind of came out of the military load-bearing system going back to the early 2000s. But we have one that features our Specter strap system, and it is fully compatible with all MOLLE carriers. And then we have a second version that features our wraparound belt loop system for attaching to pants belts and duty belts, and it'll fit belts up to 2 inches and then all the way down to 1.5 inches for trouser belts, and I'll show that in greater detail in just a minute. Let me go over the basic specifications of the pouch. The pouch body itself is constructed 1000 denier Cordura nylon. It has a 420 denier pack cloth liner. The back face is 2 layers of 1000 denier Cordura nylon, and it is lined with 2 additional layers of 1250 ballistic nylon. So you got a pretty thick, robust hunk of material here that this pouch is sewn to. And you can see from our stitching at Specter Gear, we do not mess around with our stitching at all. We kind of overbuild everything that we do to make sure that these products give you a good long service life. On moving back to the pouch body again, one thing you'll notice, this elastic strip here, what this does is it allows the pouch to contract or expand based on the accessories that you have attached to the radio. The radio itself is retained into the pouch with these 2 retainer cords here, and the closure itself is Velcro. Now we went with Velcro rather than a hard buckle because I've determined through experience that when you have a delicate instrument in a pouch and then it has a closure that's got a pretty hard surface on it, if you happen to take a prone position or bump into something really hard, it can actually translate that force through the pouch into the front of that delicate piece of equipment that's in the pouch and might cause some damage. And what I didn't want to do is put a plastic buckle on there that you hit the ground and it ends up driving that force in a concentrated manner through the front screen or through your keypad. So instead we have a soft closure system, and there's no issues there. This thing retains just fine, and you don't have to worry again about some piece of heavy-duty hardware in the front messing up the radio that's inside. Now the actual retention system is adjustable, removable, and replaceable. And what I mean by adjustable is on the inside of the pouch there's a section of Velcro loop material, and the second tab on your retainer strap here, you can adjust this vertically so that you can get a perfect fit for the radio within the pouch, and that's going to change a little bit again depending on the accessories that you have bolted onto the radio. But additionally, you may have radios that are of a similar size, and this allows you, if the radio is taller or shorter, to adjust the pouch for fit with those other radios as well. Now moving to the back here, we'll take a closer look at that retention system. Now again, this is our Specter strap system, fully compatible with all MOLLE carriers, but a little bit different than what you see on some pouches. A lot of pouches will have this layout, but this strap will be sewn into the top of the back face, and there will be a snap that's permanently installed to the back face of the pouch itself. The problem with that is these snaps, they do fail after a certain amount of time, and it's not something you can really account for. They just sometimes just go dead on you, and if that's the case and you need to ever have this replaced, you're going to have to tear the pouch completely apart. What we came up with instead was this system that is removable and replaceable in the field, so you don't have that permanent snap that's installed there all the time, but additionally you have one last piece of conductive metal material that's going to be inside the pouch near these. So there's going to be no metal inside the pouch that's going to arc and spark across your battery contacts. So that's a really important consideration with a radio pouch. pouch. At the bottom of the pouch, we have a number 0 drain hole grommet, so it allows any debris or water built up in the pouch to drain easily out of the pouch. Now, looking at the belt-mounted version, our wraparound belt loop system is designed so that you do not have to unthread everything on a duty belt to feed this pouch onto your belt. Now, for pants belt applications, it's going to be about the same, but if you're going to be using this as something like a duty or tactical belt, all you need to do is have an appropriately sized opening on your belt to fit the pouch onto, and then just simply open the wraparound belt loop, wrap it around the belt and secure it, and you're good to go. You don't have to take anything off of the belt. Additionally, if you have a belt that has Velcro lining on the inside, such as our Tac Ops belts that have Velcro loop material on the entire inside of the belt, we have Velcro hook material right here that corresponds with that, so that when you close this down onto that Velcro loop material, it locks the pouch in place and it's not going to move around your belt. But if you're going to be using this for a pants belt application or a non-lined belt, we have this Velcro eliminator pad that keeps this scratchy Velcro material from chewing up the inside of your belt, and all of our pouches that are sent out feature this. Now, if you're going to be using this for a pants belt, something in the 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch wide range, all you simply do is just close this down to its minimal configuration point, and then just use it as a traditional tunnel type belt loop and just feed it onto your belt, and you're good to go. So those are the two closure methods, and again, otherwise the pouches are exactly the same. Now let's talk about some fitment issues for the radio itself. You'll note that the belt clip is not on this radio, and there's a reason for that. You can fit this radio into this pouch with the belt clip attached, but it does add a pretty good amount of girth to the back side of the radio, and what that does is it makes it a little harder to get the radio into the pouch, and then once it's there, the pouch wants to bow out quite a lot. You're going to find much better fit if you remove the belt clip from the radio itself. It'll be easier again to get it in and out of the pouch, and it's going to fit much better. And to be honest with you, if you're using a belt pouch, what do you need a belt clip for? So I like to caution people, or not caution, but rather inform people that, again, for best fit, you want to remove that belt clip. And then going into the pouch is just a simple matter of just simply stuffing it in, closing it up, and I take these the two little legs here and each of the cords to either side of my channel control knob, and it's a nice perfect fit. And goes all the way to the top, so you're not going to have any light or any noise coming out, or not light noise, of course there's going to be noise coming out. You can hear the radio quite well without a speaker mic through the pouch, surprisingly well actually. But what you're not going to have is when the screen illuminates, if it illuminates at all, you're not going to see that from the outside. Furthermore, other people aren't going to be able to see the details on the front of your radio either, which is an additional important point. Now, what if you have, because I talked earlier again about that elastic expansion channel here, how does it fit with the speaker mic installed? Now, with the speaker mic, it fits just fine. Slides right in. Now, there is a little trick to square that up there. And you'll note that expansion, or that elastic, is allowing the pouch to expand to this side and creating an opening large enough for the actual speaker mic connection, and you still get a good fit of the radio within the pouch. Now, one thing that I'll point out to you though is that as you're inserting the radio into the pouch, one thing a lot of people run into is that right there, where the screw or the actual speaker mic connection kind of hits the top of the pouch and doesn't slide right in. This one sort of does, but some of them hang up a lot, like right there, and then people are reaching in and trying to clear that with their finger. You do not need to do that. All you simply need to do is this: is you're inserting the radio into the pouch, just simply turn the radio just a little bit, and then it'll drop right into place. Easy as that. Again, slide it out, and coming out, I kind of have to do the same thing as well. So as it goes in, you just turn it a little, and all you're going to do is just create a little void that allows that screw or whatever's hanging up to just slide right in, and no problem whatsoever. And then once the radio's in the pouch, if you've got your radio set up correctly, you can operate everything from the top of the radio. You can adjust your volume, run your channels back and forth, and I've talked about this in other ways in other videos, how you can set up, for instance, zones that have the 2 or 3 channels you're going to use for whatever mission or event or what have you that you're on, and you can simply rock back and forth with your channel control knob, and that's that. So in a nutshell, that's our radio pouches. So we, in addition to the HA1UV and HA1 Golf, you'd be surprised how many radios we actually manufacture pouches for. But I thought you guys that like this particular radio would be particularly interested in this accessory right here. So with that, I will remind you once again that these pouches come from SpecterGear.com, and of course there's going to be a link in the description so you can find these if you're interested in purchasing. But beyond that, I'll thank you for watching or listening. This is Scott, Kilo Sierra 6 Delta Alpha Yankee from Visalia, California. Have a wonderful day.